Well, bakers, this week I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate chocolate cobbler. It is the best chocolate dessert, the only one you'll ever need. And in this video, I want you to stay tuned because I'm going to share with you all my tips on how you can make the perfect self-saucing pudding and get gooey results. So let's start off. The first thing we're going to do is here I have my baking dish. This is actually from a designer in Ireland, or a potter. Is that right, a potter? Anyway, some guy made this in Ireland. And we're going to put our butter in here. The dish you want around 8 inches by 12 inches, maybe 7 inches by 11 inches, because you want to make sure that the pudding is lovely and thick. Okie dokie. Into our oven. Our oven is preheated at 350 degrees for our cobbler. The butter only takes around 5 minutes in the oven. So butter is melting, so let's make our cake. In my bowl here, I have some all-purpose flour. This flour has baking powder in it, which is what will make the cake rise. If you can't find self-raising flour, you can always use my recipe and make your own at home. Into this, I'm going to add in some brown sugar. My preference for brown sugar in recipes is dark brown sugar because it has the extra bit of molasses, which means it has extra flavor and extra caramel kind of tones, which I really like. So I pretty much exclusively use actually dark chocolate in my baking. Here we have a little bit of just regular white sugar, granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, which is so important when you're baking with chocolate. It just enhances all the other flavors. Chocolate and salt are like best friends. And then here I have some unsweetened cocoa powder. Now I just want to clarify, for this dessert, which you really do need to use good quality chocolate for, you don't want to use Dutch process because we don't have an acid raising agent, and you also don't want to use hot chocolate powder. And I say this because when I was a small young child and I wanted to bake things and I couldn't find cocoa powder, I used hot chocolate powder, and that is not the right thing to do. So make sure you use a good quality cocoa powder in this recipe. So those are our dry ingredients. Now into this, we're going to add in some milk. I like to use whole milk because it has extra fat, which is extra flavor. A little bit of vanilla extract, which just plays so nicely with the salt and the chocolate. And then also some chopped chocolate in there. And we are just going to mix this batter together until it is just combined. Now my first tip here is don't over mix this cake mixture. Just like a pancake or a waffle batter, mix it up until it just comes together, just like that, and then stop. And I'll tell you why. If you over mix it, it actually can toughen your cake, and even though it'll have the sauce and everything in there, it'll be kind of like a firmer cake, and we don't want that. Okay, lovely. That actually took no time at all, so let me pull out my dish. And here is the melted butter. I know that looks like a lot of butter, but it's one of the reasons this is so good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put our cake mixture into that butter. Now we're not mixing in the butter because that butter during baking is going to rise to the top, and it's what's going to create that sauce, because this is a self-saucing pudding. So that is our cake. Now, if you see here, I have some granulated sugar, again, some dark brown sugar, the usual suspects, and some more unsweetened cocoa powder. And all we're going to do is just mix these ingredients together to make sure there's no lumps. Now we are going to sprinkle this liberally over the top of our cake. Here's my other tip about making a self-saucing pudding successfully. Don't stir. I know you might be tempted to stir everything together. Don't stir, and just let it do its thing in the oven. Okay, we're not done yet. The very last thing we're going to do, and I know this sounds odd, but go with me here. We're going to pour boiling water carefully all over the top, gently, not all in one spot. This is adding moisture to our cobbler with all the other ingredients. When they bake together, it's what is going to give you that sauce. And that's it. We whipped that up in no time at all. It is ready to go into the oven. It's already preheated, so let's not waste any more time. So this doesn't take long at all. You want to bake your cobbler at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius for roughly around 30 minutes or so. You don't want to go overboard because you want it to still be lovely and saucy. Now, if you're in the mood for these lovely, warm, comforting desserts, just head over to biggerbolderbaking.com because I've got recipes for a pumpkin cobbler, for a pecan cobbler, for a peanut butter and jelly crisp, which is insane. So many lovely, warm, comforting fall desserts that you're not going to want to miss. Our cobbler is done and it is bubbling just like I hoped. You want to let it relax for a few minutes and just cool down and settle before digging into it. This looks like a brownie met a cobbler met like the most incredible lava cake. Just look at how lovely and crackly the top is, just like your favorite brownies. Just look at how hot and steamy that is, and look at the sauce that we created. Absolutely gorgeous. Now for me, this dessert is best served with a big scoop of vanilla ice cream, because you get the lovely balance of cream and vanilla cutting through the sweetness of the cobbler. It is like the perfect accompaniment. The best way to describe this dessert is like a big old warm gooey lava cake, and who wouldn't love that? My suggestion to you is mix things up this holiday season and serve your family and friends this delicious chocolate cobbler. You will not be sorry. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again really soon.